Hi, this is Michelle Russell and welcome to The Artist Eye. I'm here on the campus of Spelman College discussing Evenly Yoked. I'm here with the artist, Jacqueline Terry and Bradley McCollum, and I'm going to ask them a few questions just so that we can get better insight about the art that they're showing here today. So how are you guys doing?
Fine, thank you.
We're doing great.
That's great. All right.
It's good to be back in Atlanta.
Back in Atlanta. I understand you were here before in 2007 showing your art, right?
We did. We had a number of different exhibitions. One at the Keon Gallery, and then we did a large public intervention it was the old Fourth Ward, right?
Yeah.
Right in an old abandoned water tower, a video installation.
It was for Atlanta Celebrates Photography.
Oh, okay.
And it was a piece that was called Within Our Gates, and it used actual historic news footage from the Civil Rights era.
Okay. Actually, I'm glad you said that. That led me into my first question. A lot of your pieces are about race and segregation and race relations, especially about how the 60s and slavery affects race relations today. What inspired you guys to work on those?
Well, I think in many ways we were invited to submit a proposal for a memorial for Malcolm X in New York City, a public memorial that is in process now. And in that pursuit, in that research, we ended up discovering a number of archival photographs that related to Malcolm X's assassination, but also his life in general. And when we were sort of shortly after submitting that proposal and receiving the commission, we found ourselves having the opportunity to create this first body of paintings from this series, Whitewash. And we were both interested in trying to see how we could tap into that archive of photographic images and almost claim that as part of our family history.
And for me, it was really about this idea that we know the story, we know the players, we know the arc of the action, and it's all contained within photographs and archival footage. And there's something about that medium that transfers information. And I'm interested in that transfer of a story over time through this medium.
Okay. Next, I would like to know, what is it like to work as a couple? I know a lot of couples have difficulties planning how they're going to pay the bills, let alone actually working together. So can you just describe what that work environment is like?
Sure. I think, in a way, people often try to figure out who does what, and that's not really appropriate. Our collaboration is based on a sharing of ideas and thoughts and thinking about how we can move forward a set of sort of reflective and critical considerations in terms of where we are right now.
And a lot of it comes from a push-pull. Our work is about a push and a pull and a contrast of styles and visions. And our relationship is like that. It consists of some headbutting in it, and in a positive way, where that interaction and that intersection of ideas and conflict comes from, that's where the art comes from.
And I also think it's like any small business, It's like when you're a small business owner and the family is working in the business, sometimes it's hard to turn off the business. So even at dinner table, there isn't a beginning and an end of a day. And most people have a work day that at 5 o'clock you go home and you're in a different world. And that's just not the way we've chosen to live.
We go to the movies and talk about our work.
But at least the work's getting done,
And
right?
the work is getting done.
Well, knock on wood, yes.
That's far, the work is getting done.
That's good.
Today, about 1 in 5 Americans is living with a disability. Over 50 million people, including many of our friends and neighbors, teachers and co-workers, heroes and leaders. 20 years ago, the Americans with Disabilities Act guaranteed every person the right to live, work, and participate fully in the American experience. We've come a long way since then, and we are committed to making even more progress in the years ahead. Visit disability.gov to see how you can help.
Abandoned and lost. From the dark, cold streets of the city to a cage in the local shelter, to heaven, your lap.
Listen well, all of you.
A wildfire
No!
can come from anywhere,
Where?
even the most unexpected places. But 9 out of 10 are caused by humans and can be prevented. Protect our friends in the forest.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
My brother wouldn't listen to me. I told him, you have sex, you use condoms so you don't get AIDS. He laughed and said condoms were macho. My brother, he was so macho.
Now, your newest piece, Evenly Yoked, I understand that it's about race relations again, and I know that you got the name from the Bible verse. I know there's a reference there about Paul advises people to not be unevenly yoked in their marriage. So is your new piece a play on that, or can you describe what direction you were trying to go in?
Well, for me, it really, in the Bible, and I've been corrected many times, is equally yoked. And the title is Evenly Yoked because for me, it was that Bible verse that you referenced, but also the idea of oxen and what a yoke looks like and how that weight is distributed and how these two beasts, these two beasts have to carry this burden and carry this weight and move this thing forward. And so for me, it was really thinking about the old wooden yokes that I had seen. I'd gone to a couple of museums and really looked at the design of them and the fact that they have to be evenly balanced. And really, is that possible for us? Are we ever evenly balanced based on the historic legacy that exists in the United States? So it's sort of a question as well as a play on that term.
I also think that it's, as a work of art, it's dealing with the mask that we wear. It's about tipping into the history of blackface, but it's also tipping into what it means to put on a vaudeville mask, or how do we mask. And I think probably in most relationships, what mask are you wearing constantly within that, navigating that social space?
I think it's the most operatic of all of our pieces. I think it's the most Baroque of all of them because it really is theatrically based. The soundtrack is Bill Bojangles Robinson, his famous step tap dancing piece. And so that sort of sets the tension for this idea of revealing and concealing, which is what really, for me, one of the most important and most exciting aspects of our work, that idea of what is revealed, what is concealed, and when does it unfold and when does it hide itself.
What would you say is your favorite piece that's being shown today? I know you have Cut on display, of course, Evenly Yoked. I think I saw Exchange. Of all of these, what is your favorite?
I'm really excited that Cut is here. It's in the collection, which is it's the first video piece that we've done that was acquired by a museum. So the fact that it is part of has a long lifespan here at Spelman is really exciting. But for me, it's also exciting to see the interplay between different pieces, and I love the way in which this side of the gallery sort of worked, and the way the pieces are speaking to each other more than one piece isolated from another.
I'm really excited about the dialogue because when these things are in your studio, you make them, they go out. You make them, they go out. And so for me to be able to have the honor of being here and seeing a piece from 2005 speaking to a piece from 2010, that's really exciting, and that's something that rarely happens. So I can't really isolate any piece. I think I like the conversation in general.
Okay. What's next for you as a team?